Yo, 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 what up, though? It's your boy DJ Eccentric, aka The Soul Whisperer, aka Mr. Grown and Sexy, chiming in again. I want to talk about this Shedeur Sanders situation. We all saw this coming as they kept promoting those mock drafts, and the fact that you weren't really hearing any particular you weren't hearing any definite interest from any particular team. We all seen that they were likely going to give Shedeur Sanders the Geno Smith treatment. And by what we mean by the Geno Smith treatment, if anybody can think back into that draft, I forget exactly what year it was. What was that, like 2016, 2015 or something like that? We forget exactly what draft it was. But it wasn't a quarterback draft, and that was the draft that everybody was making it clear they were looking for linemen. They were looking to build their defense. Yet Geno Smith and his agent, decided they were going to participate fully, assuming that they were going to be a first-round draft pick. They came to the draft. They did all the interviews. They went about it as though he was about to be one of the top quarterbacks selected or a high draft pick. When everybody was saying probably not. It's not that Geno was bad coming out of college. He wasn't great. It was nothing world changing about him. So, we're likely going to go. We're going to go with we're going to look to build our line in that first round. We're going to look to build our defense. Nobody was ever saying that he wasn't going to be drafted, but you're not great enough for us to give a first round pick to then later on owe big money to sooner than we want to pay you. Now, shout out to Geno Smith, man. He's made a career, and that day is long, long behind him. He's in the NFL. He's handling his business. Dare I say, one of the top 15, in terms of guys that played last year. And I don't know what his overall ranking is, because he was out of the league for a minute. But as far as last year, he was one of the top 12, 15 quarterbacks in the league last year. So, he's having a good career. Now, Shedeur Sanders' situation is a little different. He is a bit of a higher prospect than what even Geno was. While he's one of those guys where it's not really one great thing that you could point out about him. It's not really one thing that you could say, man, he is awesome when it comes to this, or man, he's unstoppable when it comes to that. But he does everything good. He does everything good. He throws good. He moves good. His IQ is clearly good. He does everything good. So that was all the reasons. Now, well, no, I'm not gonna say that just yet. We'll say that. We'll say that for the dessert. He does all the things good, but not really great. So that's all the reasons and all the excuses for them to let him fall down. And I think this is one of those situations where all of them agreed. A lot of times all of those owners will agree just for the sake of trying to humble a player, or trying to humble the media or trick the media or whatever. They'll all agree, okay, we're not going to draft this guy, or nobody's going to trade for this guy. That's the same thing I think that happened with the Lamar Jackson when he was asking for more. He was asking for money, and Baltimore said, we're not giving you that. You feel free to go talk to see if somebody else is going to give you that. And nobody else wanted to sign Lamar Jackson. He was a free agent, and nobody showed any interest in Lamar Jackson. That lets you know that was in unison. They all came together on that and said, "No, we're not about to let this dude bully. We're not about to let this guy bully us and demand kind of money." So they all came together and said, "No, nobody's gonna trade for him. Nobody's gonna pick him up." And and that was designed to humble him and keep him in Baltimore. That was a favor that I guess the Baltimore owner asked of all the other owners, just to keep Lamar Jackson in check. And it worked. I guess it worked, so to speak. He came back. They negotiated. I think they met somewhere in the middle in terms of what he was asking for and what they wanted to pay. And everybody lives happily ever after. So it's the same thing with Shedeur Sanders. I think they think if we draft this guy anywhere in the first round, especially one of those higher picks, then this kid that already has a huge ego, already has the genetically has a huge ego, and confidence is probably a little bit higher than they think it should be. he may become out of control. They keep in mind, Shedeur Sanders he's never done anything wrong. You don't hear any bad press on him. You don't hear of any foolishness coming out of his camp. You don't hear of any craziness coming out of his household in terms of you know who he's dating and stuff like that. Only thing you hear about Shedeur Sanders is business, money, and football. That's it. Now maybe that football thing, maybe that because that's not the first thing that you hear. Maybe that's their problem. But Shedeur Sanders hasn't shown any sign that he would be any kind of a problem or in any way uncontrollable. But they just don't like the fact that his father being who he is, and maybe it's going to be a situation where his father's going to try to be more involved than any of us want him to be. We don't want him dictating what's going on in our franchise. We don't want him dictating and speaking on what we got going on and what we're doing, and him mad and frustrated because his son ain't getting what he think he's supposed to get. A lot of them are saying that, a lot of them have this, well, they probably all decided we don't want to go through that. So yes, while we are going to draft Shedeur Sanders, we need to humble the Sanders family. We need to humble the Sanders camp. Drafting him in the second round won't hurt him financially. As he made it perfectly clear, his NIL has him covered. He's good. So they're not over there. Deion Sanders is his father. So they're not over there starving. They're not over there, they're not over there trying to figure nothing out. He'll be fine financially, but we have to bottle that. We have to put that under control. So I guarantee today, which is Friday, I think that I don't know, do they still do it every day or every other day? I don't know what the schedule, what the pattern is. But whenever round two happens, he will be one of the first names selected in round two, depending on how the teams are lined up and who's who. You may even see some teams trade up for him because there are some teams that want him. There's some teams that need him. But I think they wanted to basically, I don't want, and humble is not really a good word because he hasn't shown any signs of being wild or flamboyant, but put him in check. Put him and his family in check. And I think that's really what this is all about. So he probably still going to go wherever it is that, whether it's New Orleans, Pittsburgh, I think he's still going to go to whatever team was really looking for him. Those are the only two teams that I keep hearing in terms of that might be interested or that may have had a conversation with him and his agent. But I think this was basically to for the lack of a better word, I guess we could say humble the Sanders family, the Geno Smith treatment. Well, a little different than why they did it to Geno. But that's just my thoughts. I'm sure I'm not the only one that thinks that, but I just wanted to put my words out there. It's been a minute since I came on here, man. I'm doing everything I can to be more consistent about it. I don't know who's listening, man, but I'm thinking my words and my perspective may be helping someone, or it might not be helping nobody. Might not be helping nobody at all, man. But still, I want to put my 2 cents in, man. Do me a favor, man. Hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button, hit the like button. Feel free to comment and correct me if I'm wrong. Let's keep it respectful. But I'm here if you want to holler. DJ Icentric out.